back for another video. In this video, I'm going to talk about the 11 things that I think everyone needs to know about foster parents. So if you are not a foster parent, this video is perfect for you because these are things that you should know about foster parents. If you are a foster parent and you have other things that you think people should know, then go ahead and comment them below. There are many other things that I think people should know about foster parents that I haven't listed, but this video would be way too long if I talked about every single one of them. So I just picked the top 11 things that I think you need to know or that people need to know about foster parents. I think there's a lot of negativity about foster care and foster parents, and so I just wanted to share the things that I think everyone who's not a foster parent should know about. The first thing that I think people should know is that a lot of times foster parents and foster families feel very lonely. And I think a lot of that has to go with not having a really great support system amongst foster parents. Personally, I don't feel like we have a great support system when it comes to relationships with other foster parents. We know other foster parents in our community, but we don't really have any type of support group or relationship or anything like that with other foster families. And so at times, for even just our family, it feels really lonely. We are going through things that we can't talk about with others because of confidentiality. We are going through things that we don't feel comfortable talking about with other people because they just don't understand and it's too hard to explain. So when we do happen to connect with foster families, it feels like a whole weight is lifted off your shoulders, just being able to connect with other foster parents. For our family personally, I think we're really bad at maintaining those relationships. I think we are really bad at maintaining any relationship with whether they're foster parents or not, only because we are so busy with everything that's going on in our house. By the end of the day, we find it very difficult to muster up the energy to go out and do things with other people. But I think that we need to strive harder as foster parents to connect with each other and walk alongside of each other to build that support system so that we don't feel so lonely and that we can have those connections and those conversations and not feel like when we're talking to someone they're judging what we're saying or that they would never allow to happen what is happening, as if we have any choice half the time about what happens in anything regarding foster care. Number 2, it is important to know that even though we did not give birth to these children, we are still their parents. We are not their babysitters. We are not fake parents. We are their parents while they are in our homes. And in some cases, we are their parents when they're no longer in their home. We are here to be that support system for them. We will fight just as fiercely for them and advocate for them as if we gave birth to them. And sometimes I feel like, for me personally, I don't have any bio children, and so I wonder sometimes if I'm fighting and advocating for our foster children and our adopted kiddo maybe a little more than I would my own bio children, because our bio children are not going through the things that foster children are going through, and so sometimes they need a little extra fighting on their hands. Ultimately, in the end, people come and go in everyone's life, whether you're a foster family or you're not a foster family. There's always people coming in and out of your lives, and those people have all different kind of impacts on your life. And so just to say that we are babysitters to these kids while they're in their homes, or we're not their real parents, it really kind of stings and it really kind of hurts, because we are loving these children as if they are our own. We are giving them everything that we have to give, and we are doing everything we can to fight for them, to give them everything that they need that we cannot provide for them. Number 3, we know that these kids have bio parents, and we know that their bio parents love them, and We aren't trying to take their place. There's a big misconception among bio parents and bio families, and a lot of times they often believe that we are trying to take the place of their parents. We're trying to take the place of mom and dad. If you're older foster parents, you're trying to take the place of grandma and grandpa, and that you are just trying to push bio parents out of their lives. And that is not the case. I know personally for our family, we have done everything we can to foster those relationships amongst bio parents and our foster children. We have had bio parents come to our home. We've opened our home to them so that they could come and see their children throughout the week. We had a bio mom who came every single day to visit her child and worked really hard to get her children back. We have set some clear-cut boundaries for us personally, and as long as it is okay with the social worker on the case. If bio parents are working their case plan, they're making visits, they're doing everything they can, we do not have a problem allowing bio parents to spend extra time with their children. We will give them rides if they need rides to get places. We will help with transportation of the kiddos so that we can facilitate that visitation with them. We will do everything we can to support that relationship. And again, there's a big misconception out there that when a child comes into a foster home, that foster family is just trying to turn the kiddos against their bio families, and that's really not the case at all. We want to see them be back together. We want to see their families reunited, and nothing makes us happier than when a bio parent really steps up to the plate and says, okay, what I was doing wasn't working, and this is what I need to do to fix the situation, and then follows through on it so that they can be the best parent that they can be to their children. Number 4, we constantly feel like we are being judged. We are being judged by social workers. We are being judged by bio parents. We are being judged by lawyers. We are being judged by judges. We are being judged by our own family sometimes. We are being judged by strangers. We feel like we are constantly being judged. We are always being watched over. We are always being told what we can and cannot do. And it gets exhausting after a while. There's nothing worse than when you have a child that is really struggling with behaviors and you just kind of let loose and you just say like, I need more help. I don't know what to do with this situation. Or you're handling the situation and you have someone come along and say, well, why don't you just give them back? Why do you deal with this? Why do you let the kids treat you like this? Why do you let the kids behave like this? And it is the most frustrating thing that I've ever heard is when someone said to me once, well, why don't you just give the kids back? Why don't you just tell them to find a different home for them to go to? You're the one who signed up for this. You're the one who chose to deal with all of the hardships of this, and why are you complaining about their behaviors? And that was told to me by a complete stranger, essentially, when I reached out on a support group wanting some help or additional advice with some challenging behaviors that we were dealing with. And it breaks my heart to think that people think children are so easily disposable. If they're not complying with what you want, then just give them to someone else. And it makes me really sad to know that there are people who believe like this, who think, well, they're not your children, so why should you have to deal with it? You signed up for it. Stop complaining. And I really struggle with people like that. I generally am a non-confrontational person, so I usually just bite my tongue and don't say anything and just let it be. And maybe I need to be a little more confrontational when it comes to comments like that, but I'm not. It's something I need to work. Number 5, we are tired. We are emotionally drained. We spend day in and day out working with these kiddos on behaviors, working with them through their emotions. We cry at night for these kiddos for things that they disclose to us that have happened to them. And our hearts break for them for things that they have gone through in their life that no child or no person should ever have to go through. We are mentally exhausted by the processes of going back and forth and having visits and not having visits, and parents doing really well and falling off the wagon. And it's just exhausting all of the time. And we have to be the support system for these kids 24 hours a day that they're in our home. And we are doing everything we can to keep it together. We are doing everything we can to avoid looking like we are pained and shocked by things that they're telling us. We're here being the strong ones for them when they're in their moments of weakness, when all we want to do is cuddle under a blanket and cry over things that they're telling us and things that they're sharing with us and things that we're reading in paperwork about what they have gone through, and sitting in court and hearing gut-wrenching information about these kiddos. And it is exhausting all of the time. Number 6, we are just as nervous when kiddos are coming to our house as the kiddos themselves. We don't know what to expect. We sometimes don't know the right way that we should handle kiddos when they first come in, whether we should do this or that, or whether we should just kind of take it easy or go to the store right away, or bombard them with information, or just kind of let things be. We are just as nervous and overwhelmed as the kiddos are when they come. And we are even more nervous and worry about them when they leave. We are afraid for what may or may not happen when they leave. We are afraid that they're going to go home and it's not going to work and they're going to be removed again and have to go through all of these emotions all over again. We are afraid if that happens, we may not have a place for them in our home because we have taken in other kiddos, and then they have to be put with a whole new family and have to go through that process all over again. And so we are just as nervous and as afraid as the kiddos are. Number 7, not a day goes by that we are not thinking about, praying about, and worrying about those kiddos who have left our home. Oftentimes kiddos leave our home and we never see them again and never speak with them again. And there are, I feel like, rare circumstances when kiddos leave and you still have that relationship with them, but that's not very common. And so for us, all of the kiddos who have left our home, we have never seen or heard from them again. And I can only hope and pray that they are the very best kids that they can be, and they're in the very best situation that they can be in, and that they are being loved on and cared for as much as they were when they were here with us, and that things are going really great for them. But not a day goes by that I don't think about them, that I don't pray about them, and that I don't worry about what their life is like right now. Number 8, it doesn't sit well with us when we hear you say, I could never do something like that. I could never give them back. I could never give them up. It kind of makes us seem like we're heartless people because we can just give them back and, deal with it. But it's still a loss. We're still mourning. We're still grieving that they are gone. We're just parents, and we're putting the children's needs and their wants and desires ahead of ours, just like you would do for your bio children. You put their needs and their wants ahead of your own, and you make sacrifices for them. And we are making sacrifices for other children, but we still have hurt, and we still have loss, and we still grieve for when they're gone. Not a kiddo has left our home. Even the one kiddo we had who went back to a mom who I knew loved her to death and was an awesome mom and a great mom, and I didn't really have as many worries about her going back to her home. Like, I still cried over the fact that she left. I still felt that loss. I still grieved over her not being here. And so when people say, I could never do that, it just makes it seem like we're heartless people and that we can just so easily give kids back and say goodbye to them, because it is not an easy process. It is not an easy thing to do. In fact, it's one of the most difficult parts of being a foster parent. Number 9. It is very frustrating when people continually ask us, what are you keeping them forever? When are you adopting them? When can you share their picture on social media? When can you actually talk about them and their life story and why they're in your care or anything like that? Adoption is not the point of foster care. Sure, there are children who, for whatever reason, cannot be returned to their home, and then they become adopted. But the point of foster care is to just provide a temporary, safe place for kiddos while their families work on what they need to so that they can get them back. And so when you're continually asking, when will you be able to adopt them? You've had them for a long time. Are you going to adopt them? Or they came last week and you want to know when we're going to adopt them. That's not how foster care works. And it's annoying when people ask over and over and over. Number 10, foster care is hard sometimes, and foster care is amazing sometimes. Foster care is a constant roller coaster of emotions. Sometimes you are at the lowest of lows and sometimes you're at the highest of highs. Sometimes you're blindsided. Sometimes you know exactly what's coming. But it is an amazing experience, and it's one that I am so glad that my family has been a part of. And finally, number 11, foster care is not about us. It's not about the foster parents. It's not about the foster families. It's not about any of us. Foster care is about the kids, and it's about their birth families. Foster care is about doing everything we can to support the family unit, to do everything we can to support these parents so that they can get on the right track to get their kids back, and for us to keep the kids safe while parents are working their butts off to do everything they can to show that their lives have changed, to show that they can do this, and to be their support system. Thanks again for watching this video. And like I said, if you have any comments, feel free to comment below. If you have other things that you think it's important for other people to know about foster parents and foster families, feel free to comment those below. Like I said, there are many other things that people who are not part of the foster care world need to know about us, but this video would be way too long and we would be going on and on for a very long time. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.